What a day it feels to just chill, relax. I mean, I've been having a pretty slow day, I'll be honest with you guys. It's been pretty slow, but you know, it is what it is. It's a Saturday, what can I say. Glad to have you guys with me here. For those who don't know, I am officially... Okay, that's a lot of notifications. We're gonna work on that. Let's see what this is. Okay. I'm Trailblaze level 60. You guys know exactly what that means. That means we're about to dump some fuel. Gonna dump some fuel on a relic grinding. Now, if you guys are wondering, Walrus, what do you mean by the drama in the title? There are some things I want to address. We will maybe talk a little more about the whole voice actor situation, although there hasn't been any like big new update regarding that. But we can... What is this? Oh right, they got this as well. Oh, I haven't done the trial for this yet. Okay, 2 more days until Blade comes out. What is this? I don't think I've ever done this. Free gems though, right? Oh my goodness. Couldn't switch characters. Oh, and it doesn't let me do auto? That's crazy. But yeah, we're gonna be doing some relic grinding and then talking a bit about the voice acting thing. And there's a video by Mr. Tectone has made a new... Oh, what is going on over here? Mr. Tectone has made a new video talking about the whole situation with his drama, and I do want to kind of address it a little bit, not because I want to jump in on the drama, but it's just like I do think to a certain degree Tectone as a content creator is misunderstood. So that's why I want to make a video about that. It's not, again, I'm not trying to defend him or say bad things about him. It's just to highlight a phenomenon and also share my experience, because I think there is also a certain level of similarities. Of course, being content creators who are both quite outspoken with their opinions, and I think there's a large number of people in the community, content creators that being, are like the enemy of the meta community or the theory crafting community. A theory crafting community, like, you're either with them or you're against them. They will not have an in-between when it comes to theory crafting. This is what I've noticed for them, like, because they are after the truth and the whole truth and nothing but the truth, right? If you don't share hard empirical data within your community or with the content you publish, you are an enemy of that community. And it's quite a difficult thing to communicate with people from that community, because they communicate through numbers. They don't like talks and discussions and whatnot. They like, to them it's a waste of time. It's a waste of time, it's a waste of effort. So just sharing that aspect. We got a couple more doubles to go. Trailblaze 60 is so expensive. I knew it was expensive, but playing it myself is like, yeah, it is very, very expensive. But thankfully, I'm not in a huge rush anymore. Like, to be honest with you guys, Star Rail, it's just a slow burner, right? Like, at this point, everything's on full auto. What's the point of really grinding and going too crazy for it? It's just playing it at your own pace. There's no leaderboard. This is a good thing about Hoyoverse games. So like, really, you don't have to spend at anything at all, like, because it, like, spending only accelerates your own progress. It's like, imagine you buy Zelda, right? What's the new Zelda game called? Imagine if you buy Zelda and then you spend an additional $500 to play through the game faster. Like, if you think about it from that perspective, then it sound a little bit silly, right? You spend money for a AAA title game, and then you spend more money to play through it faster, and like, I don't know. That's how I feel like with Hoyoverse titles. It's like, why would I spend money any more than I need to accelerate my progress? So I have to just take it slow, which is what I'm doing. Marcus Wells says drama time. Yeah. There's it's not like crazy drama. That's why I gave it air quotes, but drama. It's not really drama, but it kind of is. If you had to categorize this type of discussion and content, it would be categorized as like drama content. So that's why I have it there. We're gonna be reacting to a Tectone video. If you guys haven't, I've already watched it, but I want to go through it with you guys as well. Not gonna lie, it was a little bit difficult to watch, not because of the contents of it, just because how Tectone oftentimes likes to boast himself. But I want to springboard off Tectone's video to talk a little bit about the general situation, and him being a bigger creator with a bigger community to be able to shield him from like an onslaught of like other communities' negativity. Whereas smaller creators, I'm not even mentioning myself, right? Like, there are even creators who are smaller than me who wants to get started, but if once you get into the sites of these bigger communities, like I'm using the theory crafting community as an example, but casual community, they could be toxic as well, but they're not as like dedicated toxic. They'll be toxic to you once because they came across a video due to the algorithm and they're like, you know, I really don't like this person, but they'll just leave. They'll just leave and they will never come back. But the problem with the theory crafting community is these people, they live online, right? Like that's their entire presence. M-Trash has said this as well, and I do believe this to be true. It's like the more hardcore people when it comes to Genshin Impact, and you have to be hardcore, because if you're not hardcore about Genshin Impact, you wouldn't go out of your way to harass other people's opinions of Genshin Impact, right? That just makes sense. If you're a casual whatever person who don't care what other people say or don't care about the game that much, it's not that serious, it's just a game, you're not a hardcore. Like, and you would definitely not waste your own time to watch every single one of somebody's upload just to downvote and be negative about it, right? That, like, it just makes sense. Toga Kill says, I hate Tectone. I think I understand why people say that, but I also don't think people really mean hate the way that the word actually means. Right, Toga, and I'll talk about this. In fact, if it gets to the point, we might need to make a video about this, because Tectone brings up some good points, but at the same time, he's also slightly oblivious to like his own predicament. Okay, if you guys aren't interested in these kind of videos or content discussions, maybe this is not going to be a good stream for you guys. But like, of course, I would love for you guys to stay so we can kind of bounce ideas off each other, and you can tell me whether my analysis of the situation is correct, because I think I'm in a very unique situation compared to a lot of you guys and even Tectone, which is I watched Tectone from 2020 February. So this was during his earlier Arknights era. I never watched him before that, but I watched him as a viewer. So at the time, I was not making any content. I was a pure 100% consumer. I was a viewer of his, right? And I watched him pretty much daily because he was doing daily videos. So I watched him pretty much daily from February of 2020 all the way until, I would say, like 7-8 months ago. I was pretty much consistent with his content. Like, in between, he did have some weird patches where I stopped watching, but as long as he was talking about the game, I was willing to listen. So I have the added benefit of now I get to experience this from the content creator's perspective, as well as having been a viewer. So I know both sides of the situation. I know Tectone's side of the situation, because now I am a content creator of like relative size, like 50,000 Although, yeah, like you guys can argue, well, Walrus, you're not really having 50,000 people watch our videos, that which is true, but building yourself up to this point takes a lot of time and commitment, and you're gonna have to run into some hardship. Like my journey from like 0 subscribers to 50 something thousand subscribers definitely had its ups and downs, right? So being able to share that perspective with you guys, along with like making sure to let you guys know I am fully aware of what it felt like or what it was like being on your side of this. All right, so hopefully this is going to be an interesting discussion. So that's kind of the drama-y side of the live stream, and also if we have more updates about the voice actors when it comes to Genshin Impact. But I think that's been pretty settled. Genshin with their official statement, plus Formosa, which you guys haven't watched my video this morning. You can go check that out, talking about the voice actors who have not got paid by the audio studio that HoYoverse has contracted with. Formosa has had a bad track records with not paying their talents, so this is not just a first offense. Now it's pretty clear that this is the kind of company that we're dealing with. WDS, who the hell likes Kectone? WTF? Ouch, Kectone is funny. Okay, this is the thing. Kectone does have a point. There's a lot of people who hate him, and if you were to really ask these people to pinpoint where the hate really came from, they wouldn't be able to say anything. Like, they wouldn't really be able to give specific examples. They're just like, oh, he's an asshole. Like, oh, he's a dickhead. Like, he's rude, he's crude, he's not self-aware, right? He harasses people. But you see, these are all just like general, like, okay, so like give us an example. Like, what do you mean? Like, did you act like, were you somebody who watched Kectone and then slowly started hating him, or did you never really watch him, or you heard other people hate him and you just jumped on a hate train? Like, what part of like what do you mean when you say hate? How do you define your hatred for this individual, right? Where does it start? And how did you get to this point? Now, it's not like you have to give a reason why you hate Kectone. If you just hate him, you hate him, like, whatever, right? But the thing is, if we sit, like, I'm willing to say, out of all the haters, if we can do this, if we can sit all of them down, I would say around maybe 30% of them, maybe even less than that, can actually pinpoint to like a process of transitioning from you're neutral about the guy or you love the guy, like, oh, I was a huge fan, and then slowly hating him. Most people who claims they hate Kectone wouldn't really be able to tell you why they hate Kectone. And Kectone does talk about this in his video, which we will react to a little later. Anime Holic Talks says, I just hate his constant whining, to be honest. I don't hate him as a person or anything. Kectone grew up on a military base, which is a life not many of us can truly fathom. There's a certain level of bluntness that comes growing up in Glitch. Like, yes, I think this is the thing, okay? Kectone's, I actually, because I've watched him for so long, I know a lot about him because he shared this publicly through many videos. So people who just find him within the last year, you don't really know a lot about him because the content he's released in the last year hasn't really gone into detail about his past. So Kectone comes from a, like, I would like to say, a dysfunctional family. And again, it's not like me revealing secrets about him. He said all this. This stuff is all public. It's on his YouTube channel. He has videos of him like sitting there talking about this for like hours. So he comes from a relative dysfunctional family. And on top of that, he has a very rough upbringing. And furthermore, he's went through some gambling issues, addiction issues with gambling through gacha games, which, can you believe it or not? And fast forward that to now, he, I mean, it's up to him what he does with his money, but to me, he has some problems with his finance here and there, but because of YouTube being quite successful and his Twitch being very successful, like, he cannot really spend more than he earns as long as he puts in a little bit of consciousness when it comes to managing his money. Now, his love life, you guys all know, he and his wife separated, I believe it was last year. So it's like he's kind of all over the place. However, his active decision to like cultivate his content and shape it in a way with the persona of Kectone is what really started his like this huge hate train for him. So if you guys know Tectone, his real name is John. Again, not me leaking his personal information. He's said his real name is John many times, and I keep having to tell people this, is that Tectone and John are two different entities. Now you guys might be like, Walrus, wait, pump the brakes, stop the cap. What the fuck do you mean by that, right? Like, how can you say Tectone and John are two different entities when they're like they're exact same person? Are you saying he has a split personality? Well, not really. Okay, you see, this is where things could get a little more complex, and some people, like, I might lose some of you here, but I'm gonna use somebody else as an example. How many of you guys in chat knows Tyler 1? How many of you guys in chat knows Tyler 1? Hopefully more people know Tyler 1 than Tectone. Okay, people don't know Tyler 1. Tyler 1 is like a very loud, outspoken League of Legends personality. Yeah, like he's bald. He's like kind of jacked up, right? He does powerlifting and stuff like that. He's a League of Legends streamer. So he's very loud, very outspoken, even more crude than Tectone. He's like some would call him batshit crazy, all right? So this is a character. Tectone is a character just like Tyler 1 is a character. Except Tyler 1 makes it like painfully obvious that it is a character. And a lot of Tyler 1's fans play into that character because it's so abstract. Like the way he does it, he's literally just screaming in his mic, smashing his table, and he's just like this like constant angry, frustrated, like alpha male looking guy. Like he portrays a picture of an alpha male, doesn't take bullshit, doesn't take like shit from nobody, and he's just like this very loud person. Tectone, he's very tricky because he's made this online persona to be crude, rough around the edges, very outspoken, very unapologetic, confrontational, which is everything Tyler 1 is. But Tectone seems like, if Tyler 1 on a scale of 1 to 10, if Tyler 1 is like a 10, he's like as loud and obnoxious and as like crazy and over the top as you can get. Tyler 1 is a 10, and Tectone maybe he's like a 6 or 7. You see, this is the problem. Tyler 1 is painfully obvious that he is faking it. Like to most people who look at Tyler 1, you wouldn't be able to. You know what? Let's just. I have to. For people who don't know, I have to show you guys. I have to show you Tyler 1. I don't know. I just picked a random video. So like, it's just to get you guys to understand who this person is.
So this is actually paint. This right.
Oh yeah, and he has his ongoing gag about him being super tall. He's like he claims he's 6'11", which is like what, like 2.1, 2.2 meters, but he's super short. He's like Ziox, basically. Imagine if Ziox goes around saying he's like 2 meters tall. That's basically Tyler 1. So it's an ongoing joke. So there's a lot of these things that he does, which he does it very well, which is he makes it very obvious that it's not true, but his community plays into it. Like, that's the dynamic he has. But Tectone can't do this. Well, he can, but much less of his, like, the people who watch him will be able to catch the, like, that, okay, it's an act, it's a play, it's a joke. And that's why Tectone always has to remind you, it's a joke. It's a joke, because his delivery of it doesn't sound like a joke sometimes. This is maybe not a good video.
Maybe. How did it even make it in live? How? Sweet, guys! They're hot fixing it! Cool! That's awesome and all! How did it even make it to live servers? How? How did they think that was okay to even put it in the game? I'm so sick of this fucking company. They're trash! Fix the game! It sucks playing the shit! And I'm fucking addicted! So so I can't quit! I'm so sick of this shit!
You guys see who Tyler 1 is. That's his character. That's his pronoun. He's like very outspoken, right? So compare him with Tectone. You guys see the obvious difference is that the energy is just not there. This is why, like, I'm telling you this right now. This is precisely why Tectone is so misunderstood. I'm gonna say he's misunderstood because if people got to know him like John the person, you guys wouldn't really hate him as much as if you saw him as Tectone, right? So this is the problem with how people view Tectone. They see him as Tectone. They don't see him as a person acting as Tectone, if that makes sense. Now, it's not to excuse a lot of the things that he says and does online. Of course, as an individual, as the owner of the channel, of the brand of Tectone, he has to be responsible for the things he says and does, even in persona, right? Even if he's acting, he's on live stream. But at the same time, in my honest opinion, a lot of the things that he says and does are not as outrageous as people make them out to be. Huanbei says, why would we care about John? You shouldn't care about John. You shouldn't. That's why you see people meld the two together. But as an individual, right? As an individual, for us, when we analyze people, when we interact with people, we are very conscious of their outside persona versus their inside persona. I don't know if you guys do this. How you it's a very good example to use, that how you behave in front of, let's say, your girlfriend or your boyfriend's parents is not how you really are. How you behave in front of your parents is not how you behave around your friends. How you behave at school is not how you behave at a party. Right? How you behave at a funeral is not how you're gonna behave, at a birthday party. It's just that streamers and content creators has a very consistent persona they have to tap into. Okay, so for me, I do have a persona. I'm not gonna say I don't, but I'm more so like, okay, it's much easier for me just to be closer to myself than to be this crazy character. But again, am I this animated when, let's say, I'm talking to friends? A little. I would say I'm an animated person. I lean into this side. I'm more active. My hands wave around a lot. I play, my voice fluctuates. My facial expressions changes a lot. I'm quite dynamic when I communicate. That's just the kind of person I am. And I try to lean into that, but I've never really cultivated a specific persona for you guys to see, right? Tectone has. Same like Tyler 1. So, and I'm gonna be honest, Tectone didn't really do a good job differentiating himself from his persona, nor should he. For example, Dr. Disrespect, he's pretty much just that guy you see. If you meet him at a convention, if you meet him, blah blah blah, he's just that guy. That's how he behaves. He's fully embraced the Dr. Disrespect brand and character, right? And a lot of people do love that character, even though he's also very outspoken. He's he has this whole thing about the video game champion of 1988 or to 1990 or something like that. But that's like a running gag, right? Like that's the kind of stuff that, when people hear that, it's like, oh, it's like Dr. Disrespect. Tectone, you see, once again, we go back, Tectone doesn't have anything like that. Sanzu says, either erotic nor a walrus. Is this false advertising? I mean, I am pretty erotic. You got, come on, Sanzu, come on, I'm as erotic as they come. I ride the line of eroticism right up to demonetization, right up to that fine line between monetization and demonetization, and I'm right there standing at the edge. I don't think I can go any further without getting demonetized. Kwang Myat Thu says, seriously, Dr. Disrespect isn't toxic. Well, you see, that's from your perspective, right? I've met people who thinks Dr. Disrespect is extremely toxic. Like, oh, they don't like how like overconfident he is. Like he's just overconfident. He's like he has a big ego, right? Like people, yeah. There's people who just don't like people with like big egos. Like that just doesn't feel attractive. Like, oh, why don't you just like be yourself, right? But then again, it's a character. So you see, this is where things gets clearer, in my opinion. Is that yes, there will be people who love Tectone for his unapologetic, confrontational, loud, rambunctious, is that a word? Rambunctious persona. People love that. People find that attractive about content creators. Wow, like nobody talked like that, or nobody talks like that. At least in the Genshin or gacha community, right? People can feel attracted to that. At the same time, they'll be like, oh, like Dr. Disrespect is so egotistical, right? He's so like about himself that's all he is. He's just like a narcissist. Which Tectone kind of has that narcissism vibe to it, but he doesn't lean into that. Dr. Disrespect is like full on, like egotistical, like I'm the king, I'm the best, I'm the champ, right? Some people don't find that attractive, and they're gonna say that's hella toxic. They'll say that. They'll say that's hella toxic. But you see, who's right? Who's right? Is person A who says, well, Tectone, I like Tectone, and Tectone's not toxic. Dr. Disrespect is toxic. Or the person who said Dr. Disrespect is the best. He's a king. He's a champ. He's the best there ever is and ever was. And Tectone is just a toxic asshole. Who's right? How do you discern who's right? Right? Is there a right? Is there an answer to this question? Kenya Hinazuki says, at some point you gotta grow up and realize you're no one to go around the internet and judge people for all the small mistakes they are doing. Kenya, you're absolutely correct, but at the same time, we cannot tell people that they don't have a right to say what they want to say. Right? The best, like, what I'm trying to do right now is not to change your, oh my goodness, sorry about that. What I'm doing right now is not trying to change your minds or trying to convince you Tectone is a good guy or convince you Dr. Disrespect is a good guy or convince you XYZ. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to highlight a situation, a phenomenon where you're just going to have preferences, but you really have to question yourself. Like, this is just critical thinking. Truly, it's as simple as just critical thinking. Why do you hate Tectone? Do you have a legitimate reason why you hate Tectone? Right? It's okay to hate people. It's okay to not like people. It's not okay though. Like, let's say if you don't like Tectone, but you go out of your way to make his life more miserable. Right? If you go out of your way to harass him, go out of your way, like, I think a lot of you guys are very respectable in that you don't like him, you don't watch his content. Rinse and done. Easy as that, right? But there are people who at every given opportunity will go out of their way to badmouth him, go out of their way to make him look even worse, go out of their way to make his life potentially more miserable within their power. For example, whenever the conversation comes up, you're like, oh, I hate that asshole. You know, like I absolutely despise him. I can't stand him. Whereas you're just like, oh yeah, I unsubscribe. Like, just his content's not my thing. You basically saying a similar thing. It's just one, you're adding more hate, adding more fuel to the fire. The other one, you choose to disassociate from the hate, right? Now it's your right and your freedom to hate, but in my opinion, if you don't like somebody, the best thing you can do is just to disassociate from them, but you don't really have to go out of your way to make their life even harder. Which Tectone, unfortunately, as a big creator, like all big creators get this. Like once you pass maybe 2, 3, maybe like, I mean, it's not about your subscriber count, it's about your viewership and your relevancy. If you're a big member of the community, it's just undeniable that you're going to have haters, and haters who will go out of their way to make your life more difficult, whether it's out of jealousy, whether it is something you've said 3, 4, 5 years ago that really rubbed them the wrong way, and since then they've been just like hunting after you, or it's just trolls, people who have nothing better to do and you're a big target and they're just trying to get a reaction out of you. So Tectone unfortunately has all three. It is because Tectone, he used to react to everything. Like if you want to get a rise out of Tectone, just need to like spread some misinformation about him and he'll make like 3 different videos about you. That's the problem, is that he'll respond to it. And of course, that fuels the trolls. And he's very outspoken and confrontational, so he's gonna piss off people like through many different communities. Whatever community he's a part of, he's gonna piss them off. At some point he will, because he's gonna say some shit that really rubs people the wrong way, and he's gonna be unapologetic, and he's gonna make it sound like, he's gonna make it feel like you deserved it, and that's gonna antagonize other people, right? But that's just how he's cultivated his persona to be. Sanzi says, I like when Tectone cries like a pterodactyl when losing in gacha, but that is because it's entertaining. Yeah, like a lot of people really enjoy his series when he wails and gets screwed over, right? Now, it's not to say people enjoy to see him suffer, but that's just a very fun piece of content. And Tectone makes losing in gacha feel fun. Does that make sense? Does that even make sense? Like, watching him suffer, losing 50/50s, burning money, feels fun. WD says, so why are you defending Tectone? I'm not defending Tectone. So I'm not defending anything. I'm highlighting to you a phenomenon. A phenomenon which is most people who hate him have no fucking clue why they hate him. They have no idea why they really hate him. They'll just say something very generic. Like, oh, he's annoying. Right? They'll just start labeling traits of his persona, of the persona of Tectone, but they don't really know why they hate him. Blade says, well, Tectone changed the weapon banner. Well, Tectone, I wouldn't say he changed it, but I wouldn't even go as far to say like he was the one who got it changed. But it's like, he definitely showcased us how bad the banner was prior to its current system. Maybe he showed just how bad it is, and Hoyoverse like realized they were losing a lot of like money from people not polling on the weapon banner. Like, so you could say he influenced the change, but he didn't change it, right? Like, he maybe influenced it enough, and his videos got enough views for people to see, like, oh my god, like, this is how unlucky you can get. I am never touching that banner. And in turn, Hoyoverse was losing potential revenue because people weren't summoning on the weapon banner. What are they going to do? They're going to change it. So you could say, well, he changed it. You could say he influenced it, but I'm going to go with he influenced the change, potentially. But he wasn't like the guy who changed it. Sanzu says, on the other hand, I was a luckier on the old weapon banner. Literally can get R5 in 100 pulls on a good day. So Sanzu, are you saying that to you the change to the weapon banner didn't really matter? 100 pulls? No. R5? You get 6 copies of the weapon you want in 100 pulls. Come on. That's crazy. Bench Gamer says, this feels like fight chess by Hoyoverse. Make weapon banners so bad that people freak out, then make it 10 times less bad. Suddenly people think it's worse. That's like Bench. That's big brained. Yeah. Like, if you implement a system that is atrocious at launch, keep it around for a year and a half, and then like make it just a little less worse, people will suddenly praise you. Oh my god, that's like business 101. Glitch is saying, if you hate someone, I would say you are a terrible person with no place to judge anyone. Dislike is one thing. Hate is too far. I do think people throw words around too casually these days. Right? Most people don't really mean what they say, especially on the internet. But then again, it's the internet, right? Like, come on. Like, I would say 90% of the stuff that people say on the internet doesn't hold any meaning or value. Well, I can fully agree with people on why they wouldn't like Tectone. I 100% can understand why people wouldn't like Tectone. Like, trust me, you guys think I'm here defending him? I understand why people don't like him. And I can even give you guys reasons of things he does and says that I don't like. But I am okay to disassociate his content from him, the person. I feel very neutral towards Tectone the channel nowadays. I used to consider myself a fan like before he started Genshin Impact. Maybe even a little after, because when he was the one who inspired me, because he was sharing his story, like he had such a rough life up until the point, like even a couple years before he started Genshin Impact, he was homeless because of his gacha addiction. He had to overcome that to start a YouTube channel with his wife at the time, right? So like I was like, wow, like if you know, if this guy is putting in this much effort in his life and pursuing something that he enjoys, you know, like I have all this free time, right? I have a pretty good life. My life is stable. I've never been homeless. I've never had to struggle. I've always had enough money. I've been fortunate to have, you know, a family who loves me. Like, who am I to sit here and waste my time, you know, playing video games when I could easily just record myself playing video games like he did? So I'm gonna say, like, he did motivate me. Like, seeing him did motivate me to want to start my own channel and start working hard and be consistent with my content and uploads and stuff like that, right? Although you guys know my content isn't of the highest quality. I do daily uploads kind of nowadays. I don't even do daily uploads. I upload when I really have something to say. But he's really helped open my eyes to like what diligence and consistency, at least on YouTube, can help you achieve. Which I'm very thankful to him for that. But I'm not really in support of how he delivers his content sometimes. Sanzu River says, love means I like you just enough. Really? I thought love means I love you too much. I mean, I like you too much. Hate means I dislike you. Starving means hungry. People always... Oh, yeah. I see what you mean. Yeah. People use love when they really just like you enough. People means hate when they mean they dislike you. People say I'm starving when they're really just hungry. I feel... Yeah. It's like... I don't know, especially online, even in real life, people are over exaggerating all the time. Like, proper accuracy of diction has just gone out the window. Now, of course, I'm also exaggerating. I'm not a saint when it comes to this stuff, right? But I've noticed that I think this also fuels a lot more hate than necessary. But again, I also know that the people hate more when there's less to do in game. So during slow patches, there's always more drama. If you guys have noticed, it's always during like patch 3.7, 3.8, maybe even 3.67 and 8. Like the last 3 patches of Genshin Impact's rotation, there is always drama. People will always find more shit to talk about. And it's just Tectone was an easy punching bag. He was such an easy punching bag. He responds. He immediately gets defensive, right? He's very outspoken, which means like his response oftentimes, like, it's entertaining for these trolls to look at, or these people to look at. They just love getting a reaction out of him. And he's always delivered, right? And he has a big enough audience for these people to have like keyboard fights with online. So it's like they'll say some shit. They'll know he'll make a video, then they'll know they can go to that video and argue with his white knights in the comment section. In turn, basically, these people, like, I'm telling you guys, these people will sit in the comment section and argue with you for like 2-3 hours every day, maybe even longer than that. They'll even take turns. They'll like, oh, like my shift is up, somebody else is gonna come in and continue arguing with you. These people just love to go into these like keyboard arguments, and they know Tectone's community is the best target for that. Jello Impact says, this is my least favorite patch in a really long time. I mean, like, not every single patch has to be a 10 out of 10, right? For sure. Like, not every single patch has to be, you know, a bomb of a patch. Sometimes it's going to have misses. How are you going to have 10 out of 10 if you don't have a 1 out of 10 every now and then? Right? So I actually do enjoy slow patches. Slow patches let me breathe and gives me time to play other games. And like right now, I'm playing like other games with my friends. I'm working on Honkai Star Rail. I'm playing other gacha games. So it's just like, it's fun. I like it. I like this change of pace. And Genshin allows me to have that. Sanzu River said Gio's probably going to suffer forever now because everything needs to be working around Zhongli. Is that real? They're not gonna ever implement a crystallized meta? That's crazy if that's what they do. Crowd tries as evil Mihoyo. Oh my god! How many people in chat knows who he's talking about? There's a person called Evil Mihoyo. How many people knows of that person? Yeah, he's like the perfect example. The dude has so much free time. He'll get into an argument with anyone in the comment section. Like if you ever see the guy, he's like responding to 7, 8, sometimes over 10 different people. And he says the most confrontational shit. Like it's blatantly obvious. He's just trying to bait a response. He'll say, for example, you can say like, "Oh, I really enjoy patch 3.8. It gives me time to breathe, and my life is really busy right now. So I'm very thankful that 3.8 is a slower patch." And then he'll say something to bait you to respond by saying like, "Yo, that just means like I don't know how he uses it. Like haha, you're the type of player to." I don't know. He doesn't say like really like outlandish. It's always around Genshin. He's like, "Oh, you're the reason why Genshin sucks." For example, like you're the type of player that makes Genshin worse. He'll say something like that to you in the comments, and he'll try to bait your response, and then he'll like rope you in to get into like an argument with you. I don't know. Like some people just have way too much free time, but like not everybody's as extreme as Evil Mihoyo. He's like quite infamous when it comes to people's comment sections. Blade Main says Walrus M-Tash is a second punching bag besides Tectone for slow patches. Yeah, that's true. I mean, nobody is safe. Even Twanto, Dish, all these, even Personality, like those people have nothing to do with meta and stuff, but they're big enough people that people are just going to try to take jabs at them. It's just, they want a response, right? The people who are taking these jabs, all they want is a response. They don't care about like an apology. They don't care about like, they just want some sort of response. And as long as the content creators respond, technically the trolls already won. As long as they respond. They couldn't care less what they respond with, what they say, right? They don't care. Because they're bored. And yeah, M-Tash, Tectone, I think Sekapoko at one point was super like people harass him a lot. Tenten not so much, but he does get a bit of hate. I win to lose, not that much. I think I win to lose. Tenten so far has pretty much just ignored all the negative stuff. I'm not big enough to be a punching bag, but I guarantee you, if I had like 300,000-400,000 subscribers, I would be a huge punching bag for these people because of my like just outlandish takes when it comes to the game, right? People have a problem with others sharing their opinions when their opinions are like so far gone. For example, Raiden Shogun is A tier at C0. People will lose their freaking minds, right? But then again, it's just my opinion. I'm not a huge fan of how she plays, and she's like she's a great character, don't get me wrong. Nowadays, C0 with Dendro, she's S tier, but pre-Dendro, I refused to put Raiden in S tier at C0, so people fucking just lost it. People, I swear, if I ever went to a convention, I would have fucking got put into a chokehold by like 20 different people, and they would like brought me into a back alley to beat the shit out of me. That's how much I think people hated me for my outlandish takes. But that's beside that. Jello says, okay, you're talking about Raiden, I have to leave. Togakill says, I like how we have Jello and Bench here. Nice to see you both. Yep, I believe both Jello and Bench are content creators, right? For Genshin Impact. Yeah. Bench gamer. My goodness, Bench, you're killing it. Bench is killing it. Jello Impact. That's your alt. Yeah, Jello and Bench are both content creators.
Was an extremely hyped character and was touted by some to be one of the top tier DPSs, and it's easy to see why.
Damn, Jello, you got a pretty sexy voice, man. never thought of getting into voice acting. Ooh.
She absolutely has the highest DPS in the game, although I do mean damage per screenshot, not damage per second. As time went on, however, more and more top-tier damage dealers...
Jello?
Although I...
Ooh, Jello, you a sexy man. Yeah, I'll flash Jello on screen real quick. Ooh. Ooh. Ooh la la. Smexy voice with a smexy face. Best combination. Bench Gamer, let's hear Bench Gamer.
Yo, this is Bench Gamer here. So today in Genshin Impact news, voice actors for the game have started coming out on Twitter, calling out the fact that they have not been paid for their work on Genshin Impact in some months. There are two voice actors in particular that I know of as of this moment, those being Brandon Winkler and...
Man, you guys got some solid... Like you guys don't even need any add-ons for your microphones. Like I got like 26 different add-ons just to make myself not sound like a dying flamingo or something. I don't know. But damn, I'm a little jealous. Okay.
All right, check.
So this is the video that I was talking about in regards to Tectone. We can watch it out. If you guys hate, like, again, if you guys really don't like Tectone, it's your choice. But I'm just gonna use him, like, again, as I use this video as a springboard. There's a saying, strike the iron when it's hot, right? In Chinese, it's called 趁热打铁. Oh, but Luca-chan is back. Come here. Come here, quick. You gotta say hello. Come on. One wave. You gotta wave to chat. Ugh, nasty. What is that? Oh, you gotta get a little closer. Ah! Okay, there you go. Oh my goodness, you guys hear Jabba in the background just going crazy? Oh, yes, she does have a bit of poop on her butt. I tried to cut off the fur, because it was... Oh my goodness, chat is hearing all of this. I took her out, and then she did have a bit of poop on her butt, and then I cleaned it, and then some were just kind of stuck there, so I gave her a nice little trimming. But I don't think I trimmed it all, because she started sitting on the ground. So she refused to let me trim beyond a certain point.
Miss Girl, Miss Job.
Sanzu says, 26 add-ons in your mic can make a walrus sound human. Wait, is that what is happening? Are you speaking walrus in reality? No! 趁热打铁,趁火打劫. Yeah, basically strike the iron when it's hot. So Tectone, since he's brought up this conversation, this is actually a very interesting conversation. I want to have this conversation with Tectone, actually. So I'm gonna try to use his, like, if you make a video about Tectone and you shower him in like a relatively good light, there's a decent chance, as long as the video gets big enough, that he's gonna respond. Okay, now I'm not trying to bait him to respond, but I do have things I want to say about this situation that I wish he could respond to some of the things I said, because I think he's a pretty interesting person to have a conversation with, right? Like, you don't have to watch him for his meta takes and stuff like that, but just to have a conversation as from person to person, he's a pretty good conversationalist. So if you guys don't like him, I'm sorry, but this is a great opportunity for me to springboard off the thing he's talking about, because this is very important for me as well.
About, wow, drama, how exciting. Didn't want to make this, we kind of like settled it, but
Yes, he did.
I thought it was a really good example of how I thought my previous quote-unquote drama would have gone with other creators, but we actually had this is really weird to say, a really good experience.
Oh yeah, and also I'm not gonna deny that he's pissed off a lot of creators that he's talked about in the past. Like, people don't like it when Tectone has things to say about them, because Tectone oftentimes he's too unfiltered. like he's like I said, he's very unapologetic. He's very unapologetic. So like when Techno has something bad to say about you, he'll say things that like he shouldn't really be saying. It's just like, yes, he's a very, how should I say this? He's an asshole. He's an asshole. I think that's the best way to say it. So at least the character of Tectone is an asshole. So that's why most people had beef with him. Oftentimes is like the stuff he says really just rubs people the wrong way. And that's why he's gotten into so much drama. And that's why a lot of people really don't like him. Is that in the essence of Tectone, the persona, he's an asshole. Okay? But John, the person, is not an asshole. So
with another creator that had a disagreement with me. So to give you a little bit of lore, there was, before the dev live stream, I hadn't slept yet. You know how early the live streams are? They happen at 6:30 a.m. my time, so I stayed up for about 30 hours in order to be up for the time period and then be able to play for about an hour or so after the dev live stream happened. And there was a video that I reacted to because, as you guys who don't know, I got a Ting Yun from the shop. So I go to look up a guide about Ting Yun and I find this creator called Gotcha Smack, and I'll go ahead and pull up the video. Right, so there's this video right here, which is how strong is endgame Ting Yun plus prices information Honkai Star Rail Ting Yun guide. I watched a couple of his videos in the past, but I mean, keep in mind, I hadn't slept in a little bit. I was also watching the video on 1.5 times speed, and I was cutting around a lot. And in the video, this guy was making a lot of jokes, but I was too stupid in order to understand it. His intentions were lost on me, and so I clowned on the guy a little bit. I did. I clowned on him a little bit, and
you see, and that's where 90% of his problems starts. So, sometimes Tectone says he doesn't know why every community he goes to, like, people just hate him, and he says it's the same community that hates him, but no, he is constantly making new enemies. He is constantly making new enemies because he feels the need to clown and dog on people, because that's how he entertains his chat. A lot of his content is filmed while he's live on Twitch, so he needs to, like, he can't just sit there and watch the video and say nothing. And sometimes if there's nothing to say or nothing of value to say, he'll just slide in some of his crude humor, his clowning, right? He'll just clown on people to spice things up a little bit, and that's just his brand. And that's how he ends up making so many enemies in so many different communities.
I felt bad about it, so I didn't upload the video to YouTube because I didn't want to call.
She's literally, Ting Yun is a terrible tank. She has terrible HP scaling, but she somehow gets hit the most. I hate playing her with Jeopard because even with Jeopard's signature weapon, Ting Yun is getting hit just as often.
Cause any problems. I had maybe 2.2k viewers, 2.3k viewers. Wasn't really a big deal on Twitch, but then some guy sent him my react and he saw that and he wasn't sure what my viewer count was, and that's not his fault. It's not his priority at all. But he made a video talking about how, like, hey brother, you clown on me, I'm a clown on you. Okay? And that's fair. That's fair. Okay, that's fair. I was proud. I was being a little bit of a dickhead. I clowned on him a little bit. I didn't say nothing personal, but I was joking, being like, why is this guy so angry? And in the video, he's like, listen, Techie, I can't help that you don't get my humor, and you're the last motherfucker on earth who should be clowning on anybody for being angry. And I said, you know what? That's fair. Me, as I have always done in every other, tell me when I'm wrong. Hey, the people in my chat know I don't know. I can't help if other people don't know it. As I have always done, when I make someone angry against my intention, or if I hurt someone's feelings against my intention, I always go to apologize. Now, I can't help if they don't check their Twitter DM.
Okay, so this is the thing, right? You shouldn't have to constantly go apologize to people for offending them. Like, this isn't a competition, right? This isn't a competition of who can offend more people in the shortest amount of time. If he's saying, like, every time he's had to go and apologize to people for offending them or pissing them off, and it wasn't his intention to do so, he's always went to go apologize. Do you know how many times I've had to do that? 0. Because you shouldn't be going out of your way to be pissing people off. Well, not out of your way, but you shouldn't really be trying to even step on people's toes like that, right? So when Tectone ever questions why he has so many enemies, why people like to hate on him, like, he pretty much just labeled it himself. Like, he has had to go to people's DMs to go apologize because he said something about them that he did not mean. So just the fact that he had to do that, and more than once, already proves that, like, he is, like, this is not the first time that it's happened. And it's gonna continue happening because that's just how he's created this persona to be.
And then say it's my fault for not reaching out to them privately, even though I did, but they just didn't see it because they're bad at checking their DMs, like, has happened 3-4 times. I don't know how many times it's been.
Like, the fact he's already lost count to how many times he had to go to somebody to just apologize for something he said. 3-4 times? Come on now.
In chat, but it's been a lot. But the first thing that I did, and maybe this is a blessing, maybe this is a curse, I couldn't find Gotcha Smack's Twitter info, so I just left him an apology on his video because it was on YouTube, okay? And he saw it. And I said immediately, because I felt bad, right? I felt bad because I didn't mean to clown on the guy. I just didn't get a couple of his jokes. It is what it is, right? And so this guy says, or I say to him, my bad, homie. Tired as during the react. Dev livestream made me stay up all night. That's why I didn't upload it to YouTube.
Simon D. Tomaso says Techie got big by stirring drama, right? No, he did not get big by stirring drama. He got big, like, kind of like how Tenha got big by spending a crap ton of money on gacha games, and he was one of the first, like, person to cover a lot of these bigger gacha games, like, first people, I guess. Back, like, gacha, like, think about it like this: gacha game as a main source of content for your channel only got popularized in the last 3 to 5 years. Like, prior to 5 years, how many, not even gacha games, just mobile games, how many people were actively dedicating their entire YouTube channel around mobile games? Not that many, if any, right? Prior to five years ago, there were some. One Piece Treasure Cruise was a mobile game, but they were very, very small. They're like the pioneers of this type of. But nowadays, mobile game as your entire channel's, like, main content is very doable. Tectone was one of the first few people who actually covered a lot of these gacha mobile games on his channel, and he owes a lot of his success nowadays to his consistency through the many different games he's played through to get to where he is. So by the time he got to Arc Knights, I think he was already at, like, I don't know, like 60,000-70,000 subscribers. And through Arc Knights, I think he passed over 100,000. And then Genshin Impact launched him all the way to, like, where he is now, like 600,000-700,000, right? So he didn't do it all through drama. He did get a lot of exposure through drama, but his initial, like, big boost of subscribers is certainly due to his diligence and consistency through gacha mobile game coverage over, like, I don't know, 4 or 5 years.
I'll let my Twitch community know that I was being dumb, but my bad, homie. If you want to DM or hash anything out, I got nothing but respect for you, big man. Going forward, I won't react to your content without your permission. Sorry for any trouble I caused. Wasn't my intention. You write about me being the last person to talk about somebody being angry, and I apologize immediately. He actually saw this, and about 3 to 4 hours later, he reaches out to me on Twitch DMs, and he says that he appreciates the apology, and he's going to make a follow-up video letting people know what happened. I will say this unironically. In my 3-4 years of YouTube, I have never had someone be so reasonable in my entire existence. His name's Gotcha Smack on YouTube. I've never had this happen. As you guys know, I'm in a pretty rough spot with the Gotcha community because, unfortunately, and this has happened for a very long time, people can just make up whatever they want about me, i.e., what did I do in Arc Knights again? Say Spectre was a boss killer? Another content creator accused me of gaslighting them, and then they realized they didn't know what gaslighting meant, and then they apologized, but everybody saw the video of them calling me a shit person, and nobody saw them admit that they didn't know what the f they were talking about? The Genshin community. I'm sorry I don't like the game. I'm sorry.
Okay, the thing is, like I keep saying, Tectone is a very easy person to hate. Okay? And you guys can disagree with me, but there's a lot of people who don't like him simply because he's Tectone. He's a very like his persona is very easy to hate, very easy to jump on this bandwagon, and it doesn't help that he's pissed off a lot of people. And it's like, maybe it's just because two people's opinions didn't align and they end up disliking him. And that's very normal. Like if people's, like if you hold a certain opinion with a lot of, you hold a lot of value in a certain opinion, and this person is just like the 180 degrees of your opinion, it's going to be very difficult for you to get along with that person. So it doesn't really have to be him saying anything outrageous or outlandish. Like he could simply just say some stuff that people disagree with, and that's all it took. Now it would be difficult for people to hate him if he was like a nice person most of the time, but he's not. He's a very like loud, outspoken, aggressive individual, which just makes it even easier to hate and clown on him. Right? So he's here saying like, what did I do? What did I do? He's trying to find like an actual like a legitimate right or wrong thing that he did, but it's not about legitimate right or wrong thing. He could have just disagreed with people, and because he is who he is, people just dogpiled on him because it was just easy and fun, and people could get a reaction out of him, right? Like that's all it really takes to be hated on the internet. You don't have to be like freaking like the Hitler of the gacha community for people to want to smite you down. You just got to be like outlandish enough. You just got to be like, you just got to have some dirt on you. And then you just gotta have not a very likable personality, which some would argue I am of the same like person of Tectone, because I'm very outspoken. I share my opinions unfiltered, right? And people think I spread a lot of misinformation, much like they say Tectone does. So you just have to be a person that it's very easy for other people to hate, which he is. That's why he gets a lot. It's not about like what he said or did, or concrete things that could be labeled right or wrong, right? It's like, oh, he ran over like 3 puppies or something like that. God damn, like he's evil. Get him. It's not about that. It's about the fact that he is too outspoken and he's made too many enemies out of content creators. Yes. Very good.
Sorry, people got angry at me. I can't help that a theory crafter got upset when I said they was wrong because they weren't testing their abilities. I really don't know what you want me to say, but
he's talking about the Jingjings and Tuner thing, right? Like that's at least that's what I think he was referring to, the Jingjings and Tuner thing. He handled that very poorly, right? He jumped into, I believe it was Tuner's live stream, like pretty much unannounced. He basically jumped in while the guy was live streaming and proceeded to have like a Mortal Kombat equivalent of debate on a subject matter that, yes, the guy made a video about, but Tectone had like a ton of things to say about it. He just went in. It wasn't even like a structured thing. The guy was like on his account, like farming or like running bosses, and they just had a conversation. And Tectone then walked away, proclaimed his dominance, and made videos talking about how he destroyed him, right? It's just, you see, like, if you do shit like that, of course people are gonna not like you, even if you're in the right. You see what I mean? Like, he has that egotistical side of him, which gets way out of hand. He doesn't try to reel it in. He doesn't try to control it. He sees it as content. He's the kind of person who sees all these things as opportunity and content. He has a very content wired centric brain, and he's failing to see how a lot of the things he's done in the past, they've compounded to what they are today. And a lot of the negativity and the harassment he's getting are just the tax and the interest of him milking that type of content for such a long time. He is failing to admit to that. He's failing to understand that. And he's still here trying to say, what did I do wrong? What was it that I said that was so wrong? It's not about what you said or did that was wrong. It's about how you went about to do that, if that makes sense.
in 4 years, I've never seen someone so reasonable that actually felt the need to at least be truthful and transparent when dealing with drama on the internet, rather than realizing, oh, Tectone's low-hanging fruit. I can say whatever I want to say. I can be a massive pussy. Sorry, I'm a little bit angry when I talk about this stuff because I've been shafted so many times in the past. And
as he has shafted other people. Sanzu says, if Tectone was the main character in a Persona game, he would not be able to use all Personas. I am sorry, I do not understand that reference. I've never played a Persona game. I know, Sanzu. I must be a huge disappointment. I've never played a Persona game, so I don't know the reference.
actually just get this, be honest. And it was insane. Now, me and him squashed this drama 3 hours. 3 hours. Video went up. I saw it after 3 hours. I apologized. He shot me a DM, said all good. Now that's how it should be. But oh, no, no, no. No, 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 no. No, because the problem is that the community didn't want that. No, no, the community, well, they had a little bit of a different idea on how things were gonna go. So let's just go over a couple of these real quick. Tectone, I don't know why people hate me. Also, Tectone, I'm a randomly throw shade for no reason. So these things, get this, they are called jokes.
Oh, there it is. They are called jokes. That if that isn't the biggest, like, is it understatement? He's underplaying it so much. Come on, like, I think this is where the biggest problem is. He thinks they are just jokes. But when it comes to jokes, then we're talking about humor, right? If we're saying those are jokes, then technically you're saying I'm just exercising my humorous right. But then again, you have to really play on like humor rides such, like, good humor, okay? Good humor rides on a knife's edge when it comes to a little bit over and you're an asshole, insensitive dickhead, and a little bit under is it misses the mark just a bit, like, that's not funny, that's kind of distasteful in my opinion, or not executed well. But if you just land right on that, like, very thin, almost invisible thread, you are fucking hilarious. And unfortunately for Tectone, he constantly bounces back and forth between this line with his jokes. Now, I might have a screwed up sense of humor, and maybe he's like the funniest person to ever walk the land, or I'm not gonna maybe exaggerate that much, but or maybe he's a funny guy. Maybe. I would like to say one, maybe out of like 30 jokes he throws out, I could get a chuckle. Like, I'm just being honest with you guys. I've never watched Tectone for his humor. Okay? That's just me being 100% honest. I've never once tuned into his videos, but like, oh my god, it's a Tectone video, time to get a good laugh. No, it's always just about him being raw and outspoken about something, at least his opinion about a character. That's why I watched him. That's all it was. It wasn't about his humor. He doesn't have to try so hard to be funny. Or maybe his chat really likes it and he just leans into that. But it's like he's underplaying this so much, saying like they're called jokes. I mean, throwing shade at somebody could also be joking, right? They're not mutually exclusive. He could be throwing shade and making a joke at the same time. It was just you're basically, the joke is them. You're making them the butt of the joke. That's still throwing shade. But like, maybe not all of his jokes are throwing shade, but there's certainly a number of jokes that he's made. What is Jabba doing? There's definitely a number of jokes that he's made which has had him throw shade at other people. Can't underplay that.
They are called jokes. Shade is if I were to say, wow, this guy sucks, this guy's an idiot, don't watch this guy's channel.
No. Shade, I don't think that's shade. Shade is basically you Jabba. Why is she borking? Like shade is basically you kind of like, it doesn't have to be so direct. It can be underhanded. It's kind of like giving somebody a backhand. That could be considered shade. Yeah, backhanded. Exactly. You can give somebody a backhand. Like, for example, if I say like, again, I'm not picking on anybody in chat. I'm going to say like, Bench. Let's say Bench Gamer said, I actually like his game takes most of the time. This would be throwing shade. For example, if I read Bench Gamer says, I actually like his game takes most of the time, then I could say something like, oh, Bench, you must not really like good takes then. That's throwing shade. But did I really like go out of my way to say like, oh, don't watch Bench's? No, but I threw shade at Bench, right? That's throwing shade. I just threw shade at him. Bench, I did not mean that. I did not mean that. You know I did not mean that. I'm just using you as an example because you sound sexy. But that's throwing shade, right? Like basically it's like an underhanded kind of thing, a little jab at somebody. Right, it's like almost passive aggressive. That's a way of throwing shade. It doesn't have to be so like direct. So, Sanzu says, so what Tectone need is basically the Comedy Central collection. Yeah, I mean, I do like Key and Peele from Comedy Central, but yeah, your Comedy Central like is, man, a lot of their stuff have fallen off, but Key and Peele is just still top notch for me.
Me saying Lil Bro doesn't even know Asmongold. What blood talking about? That is so obvious. It's a joke. It is
He says, what is the Lil Bro talking about? Doesn't know what he's talking about. How is that a joke? Wait, let's go back. Chat. Do you guys think this is a joke?
Lil Bro doesn't even know sucks. This guy. They are called jokes. Shade is if I were to say, wow, this guy sucks. This guy's an idiot. Don't watch this guy's channel. Me saying Lil Bro doesn't even know Asmongold. What blood talking about? That is so obvious. It's a joke. It is.
I must not have a single fiber of humor within me because I cannot resonate with that being a joke. How is that a joke? How is that a joke?
Guy's channel. Me saying Lil Bro doesn't even know Asmongold. What blood talking about?
That's a shade. That's shade. What the fuck? How is that? That's not defensible. That's shade. Just own it as a shade. You threw some shade, but like throwing shade if you know the guy. If you know the guy, like for example, if him and I are really close friends, really good friends would constantly throw shade at each other. Constantly. That's their love language, right? I know not all best friends talk shit to each other, but really, really, really good friends. Like me and my brother, we talk shit to each other all the time, but it's out of like good faith and love. We just take small jabs at each other, right? And it's all fun and games. We have a good laugh about it and we move on. But for him, like the thing is, Tectone interacts with everybody like they're his best friend. Like how he can throw shade and they can just laugh it off. Like what he just said could so easily be taken as shade. And just like what? Like, bro, relax. Like, not that big of a deal. Why are you so toxic? That's a very genuine and understandable response to something that he just said, like what he just said, like, oh, little bro, like, well, like why you gotta say like that?
That is so obvious.
It is not.
It's a joke.
It is not.
It is ridiculous. I watch Tectone and I can tell for sure he don't know anything about any game he plays. Ignore any criticism he gives. Hey, you're right. There's more. There's
Okay, you see, that's also exaggeration. He does know. It's just his knowledge, his game knowledge is not so in-depth. Tectone, much like myself, we shouldn't really be making in-depth, like concrete theory crafted guides, but we are like, what we should be doing is giving our opinion on the characters that we have and played and tested ourselves, and make sure people know, hey, this is just my opinion, right? And of course, we're not like icons within the theory crafting community anyways. he could make full-fledged in-depth guides. It's just they're not going to be very good. Same with as myself. That's why I don't make full-fledged in-depth like guides of characters. Takes a lot of time and effort. But to say he knows nothing, you see, again, it's an exaggeration. See, it's just constantly people cannot find the middle ground. It's either like he's a dumbass who knows nothing about the game. He can't even play the game without spending money, which is absolutely false. He absolutely can. It's just he chooses not to. Or his bootlickers who are like, Tectone is like the best ever is, and everybody who says anything about negative about him is a hater and just jealous of what he has. It's just gotta find the middle ground, people. Tectone is an okay person who knows enough about the game, but he spends a lot so he can beat the game very easily. Right? He's very outspoken and sometimes asshole-ish, but he doesn't really mean harm. Okay? It's very different. He doesn't mean it, but that's just like how it comes across. However, you have to own it and take responsibility for what you say. So him apologizing to people, of course he should do it, but at the same time, he shouldn't question why people don't like him. He should very well have the self-awareness of knowing why people don't like him and he's hated on in so many different communities. Right? These are all like topics of discussion that like, I don't think people need to explain it to him. He should know this stuff.
More. Tecton is the type of dude to watch this and then not admit he was wrong about it. I've admitted that I was wrong every single time that I've been wrong, every single time I've been in the wrong. But if you disagree with that, it's called your opinion, and that's absolutely okay. And there's more. There's more comments. You can go check them out for yourself about how I'm a horrible human being, about how I make Adolf Hitler look like a saint, you know, how I'll never apologize.
Nobody says that.
Apologize for anything, and how I'm a pretty much an absolute garbage human being and a rat piece of shit. So let's continue. Now, me and Gotcha Smack are good because this dude, get this, is a very good dude. He's a very well-spoken, articulate dude. I made the mistake of not getting a couple jokes because I was tired, and that happens, right? And that happens. Now, I don't want to hold that against anybody, but I watched the video way too fast. I was way too tired, and I skipped around this, that, and the other, okay? And then this dude says this.
One thing I want to make sure I'm vividly clear on. You guys have my gratitude for having my back in this situation. Truly, I'm thankful. I love you guys for that. That's awesome. I didn't expect that.
This guy got that ASMR voice as well.
I also want to address the fact that let's not pretend like some of y'all didn't just hop on the train and expect me to commandeer the hate fucking ship into Tectone's chest. Some of y'all don't give a damn about me. You're just here to try and get this man canceled because you hate him for one singular moment that occurred between you guys, or maybe a number of moments. But you know what, man? I'm not supporting that shit, bro. Absolutely not. Because you know what? I am mature enough to realize that none of us are perfect. We've all had flaws. We've all made mistakes we aren't proud of and will continue to do so. Guys, one of the most toxic weapons utilized by humanity in today's society is the ability to relinquish the thought of anything good somebody has committed and retain everything bad that they have committed.
I feel like we're all forgetting that I got the weapon banner changed in Genshin Impact, and I've saved free-to-play players as well as whales thousands, if not millions of dollars on that banner. I really feel like I was Jesus who died on the cross to get the rates improved in Genshin Impact. I feel like I'm just not getting the credit I deserve for that, you know? And I feel like it's a little bit bullshit, you know? Because I kind of got the whole weapon banner changed for these people, and they still don't appreciate me. It's nuts.
I cannot stand this shit on the internet, and it's like, no matter how much good
Glitch says this is a joke somewhat, which is true. Like, how much money did he spend on the Hu Tao, the original Wolf's gravestone and Homa banner? How much money did he spend? Does anybody know off the top of their head? $27,000. Yeah, so that's what I was saying earlier before we started reacting to this, is like Tectone was able to basically ward off people from ever spending on that banner. Like, how many views did that video get? Probably like hundreds of thousands, if not like over 1 million views. Imagine that many people, that many of you, like 1 million players from Genshin Impact is like, during Genshin's peak, that's like what, 10 of the total player base was warded off from the banner. And if Hoyoverse didn't do something about it, they're gonna lose out on potentially billions in the future, right? Because if you never make changes, people never really spend on the weapon banner, you're losing out on potential billions. We're talking like over the next 5, 6, 7 years, people are just not going to pull on the banner, right? Because they saw, like, they just remember that, and that's their first major impression of the weapon banner. So they did make changes and they altered it. So yes, Tectone did contribute to the weapon banner becoming more like friendly to pull on, but he didn't change it. But definitely he was sacrificed. He made the sacrifice. He walked so we could run, technically, kind of something like that.
Somebody does. Whatever they did bad, that is the only thing you guys remember. And it's so toxic because if the shoe was on the other foot.
And here's the best thing. It's not only the bad things that they remember. It's also the stories that people make up with either no context or out of context shit that I have lived with for nearly 4 years. And it's insane to me how this is the first time anybody's ever said anything like this in 4 years.
You wouldn't.
Sanzu, yo, chat. Sanzu says, I still disagree on the weapon banner. Lost way less on the old banner, but the change itself is good. No, Sanzu, you're just waging war with all the low spenders. Sanzu is out here waging war with all the low spenders, the medium-sized spenders. Like, what? This man had more success with the old banner pre-change. Get this, chat. The man, before you can choose which one you want to guarantee after 2 fails, Sanzu was out here balling. If you guys just joined the stream, Sanzu claimed he had weapon banners pre-change, that he was getting R5 limited weapons with $100. Jello Impact says a skill issue. Honle also had the same experience. Oh man, this must just be the Walrus crew then. The Walrus crew was just living it off of RNG.
Last a single second. There is so much hate in my comment section for this man. It is uncanny. I mean, goddamn, bro, y'all are acting like he committed genocide.
Now I get the Hitler references. Now I get it.
Acting like this man like threatened my life or threatened my family or said something personal. Bro, he played me a little bit. That was it. Now in the real world, that's a simple little hash it out talk, and that's it. Dap it up and, you know, continue on with our lives. But come on, let's have a real moment here. Let's not sit here and pretend like my man is just Satan himself.
Well, Satan's another one that I get quite a lot. I also get Andrew Tate of Gotcha. I also get Donald Trump of Gotcha. It is insane.
Okay, Donald Trump kind of is in a similar boat. Like, funny enough, Donald Trump is in a very similar boat to Tectone in how media and the general populace likes to label him something that he kind of isn't. Now this is getting political, so I'm not going to really give my political views, but I'm just saying a lot of the things that the news and like the media says about Donald Trump is not even real. They try very hard to make him look worse than he actually is. Now he's no fucking saint. He's not a saint, but he's not as bad as the media makes him sound to be. That's all I'm saying. They're leveraging his negative like press to make him more negative than he actually is. Where in fact, if let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being Jesus Christ himself, Donald Trump is probably like a 3, all right? But they're making him look like a 1 or a 0. Same thing, Tectone on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being like, who's the biggest saint of Genshin Impact? I don't even know. Like 10 being Twanto, whatever. Like, let's just say Twanto is a saint. Wow, what a darling, what amazing person. Tectone's probably like, again, a 3. But people are trying very hard to make him look like a -7. Right? So that's how it is. They're just leveraging it because it's easier for them, because he already has negative, like, bad press and record.
To me, how much people get offended for their content creators when the content creators themselves are not offended. Two dudes clowning on each other like adults do. When it gets a little bit out of hand, we say, hey, shit, my bad. And then that's it. But I sit here day after day, week after week, being told to let shit go, how I cause drama, all this shit, this, that, and the other. And it's not me and this dude having any issues. It's commenters and the community having issues for problems that don't exist, for things that didn't happen for years, for like 4 years. And
it is also true that the viewers hype, like, make shit way worse than it needs to be. Sure, he said something that wasn't nice, but people just go and try to, like, they try to start fire. Like, they're like, this is the best way to explain it. They're trying to start a forest fire with a little bit of like smoke, like smoldering ash from the campsite, and they're trying to use that to start an entire forest fire. That's what a lot of the times drama that gets blown out of proportion, that's how it started, is that people in chat took something and ran with it, and they tried their best to like inflame it, like fan the flames so it can get bigger and bigger and bigger, so they see like these two people go at it. I believe Tectone and MTash's first like big altercation was because somebody took something that Tectone said and brought it to MTash and said, look, this man's talking shit about you, or Tectone's saying shit about you. And MTash was like, fuck that guy. Like, and then like MTash was like, yeah, if you want to talk shit, like then yeah, blah blah blah. And then that's how it first started. MTash didn't even know Tectone said something until the viewers then brought it to his attention, and then like took it out of context and said, oh, he said this and blah 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 about you and everything. A lot of the times it gets out of hand because of the viewers, but it's also up to the content creators to have the foresight to double check, right? Don't just have a knee-jerk reaction. Double check. If you truly care about not starting drama, you should double check. If you want the drama, lean into it, baby. Lean into it.
And that's why, no. The end of the drama will never come. The end is, it's not in sight. It'll never be in sight, because this is not an issue that I have with other people. It's not. I have had no drama since stopping playing Genshin. None. Zero. And yet these people...
Because he's not as relevant anymore. Hey, maybe that was a little bit of shade thrown at him, but it is true. He isn't as big as he used to be. When he quit Genshin, he was like pulling in 20,000 views. Look, nobody starts shit with me. I'm out here pulling in like 7,000, 10,000 views every now and then. Nobody wants to start anything with me. It's not even worth their time to start shit with me. All right. So when you pull in like terrible views, you're not relevant. Nobody's going to start anything with you. But if you are like pulling in hundreds of thousands of views, people are going to try to latch on. People are going to, like, everything you say will be scrutinized. Now that he's garnering more viewership again, but he's not like averaging over 100K. He's like garnering like what, 60K, 70K, something around there, like roughly. He's starting to become a little bit more relevant again. But at the same time, he makes a lot of content that's reaction content now. So it's very difficult to throw shade or to start drama with him. But people will still do it. People will do it. It's just, he's not as relevant as before. So of course, it's not going to feel as much of the drama baiting as he used to.
Are still so obsessed. They follow every article, and I can prove this. I can prove this shit. The moment this guy puts out a video talking about me being a piece of shit, 4 times his normal viewership on his videos in less than 24 hours. Because these people, they just sit there and they seethe and they wait and they continue to just wait for me to do anything that they can say, Derry.
Okay, let me just... It's not that they're waiting, it's like they're living their life. They already had this preconceived notion. It's like in the back of their minds. It's not like Tectone lives in their head rent-free. They don't think about Tectone every day. But they already have this preconceived notion of Tectone, right? It's sitting in their head. They could live that life for the rest of their life without ever crossing roads with Tectone ever again. But the second the trigger comes up, like, oh, Tectone blah 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 comes up, they easily dig into their cerebral and they can fish that data out and be like, ah, here is my 2 cents about Tectone. That's how it is. No, it really is. It's not like they're living, breathing every day waiting for Tectone to fuck up. No, it's just they already know what they're gonna say when he fucks up.
He is. Knew he never changed. Same piece of shit. This guy. I can have perfect behavior for nearly a year. And I'm not considering this a scoff or a scuff on my record whatsoever. Because me and Gotcha Smack, we settled it like adults in 3 hours. Not even one message. The moment I saw it, boom, fixed. And once again, my bad. I was a dumbass. But shit like this needs to relax. And it's not just me. These same motherfuckers are still getting on MTash shit over nothing. Still getting on Asmongold shit over nothing.
The MTash thing, like, I quit. Oh my god. Like, at this point, it's, I don't know. Okay, chat, correct me if I'm wrong. MTash saying he quits has the same weight as Hoyoverse saying they really care about preventing leaks. Like, to me, this is the meme of the Office meme, is that corporate wants you to find the difference between these two photos and then secretly, like, it's the same photo. It's like neither of which really means it, but they are obligated to announce it, right? MTash saying, okay, I quit, and Hoyoverse saying, please stop leaking content. We really care about not leaking content for our games. Like, they 100% share the same, like, vibe to me. And, like, MTash is not so much hate that as he is, like, memed on, which I guess memeing somebody could be interpreted as a form of hate delivery, right? Memeing somebody. But MTash, I don't think gets as much hate as Tectone, but I know a lot of people who really don't like MTash, even though MTash is far more self-aware and transparent with us than Tectone is. MTash has said multiple times he wants to quit, he doesn't enjoy the game, but he has to keep playing it for the sake of his family, for the sake of income, and he's only doing it because it brings him good money. He said that. He's very transparent. He's not trying to lie to you guys and fake it. He says he's miserable sometimes covering this game. He burns out very easily because he's actually not really enjoying what he's doing. He says that, and I respect him a lot for it. The thing is, I would respect Tectone a lot if he says, hey, you know, guys, I could be a bit of an asshole every now and then, but that's just, you know, who I am. I can try to make an effort to be less crude, less offensive, and less outspoken and confrontational with people, because it's obviously rubbed many people the wrong way in the past. I'll try my best to improve, but it is also part of my brand, and that's just how Tectone was built up from the ground, was this kind of persona. So it's going to be difficult to eradicate it completely, but I'll make an active effort to be a better person. And I'm sorry to the people I've hurt. That is also owning up to who he is, as well as what he's done in the past. But he's never done that. He's unapologetic. He will never say that, right? And even if he does say that, nothing will change, because the haters are not gonna hear that and be like, oh my god, he's such a good person. No, they're still gonna hate him. But it's more about saying something like that is more about himself than it is about the haters and whatnot. But he won't say that because he doesn't believe that.
Nothing. I mean, shit, I could go on, but just listen. It's not that I want to make these videos. It's not that I want to talk about this shit.
He does
it's
want
that
to.
I literally have
content.
to. I can't tell you how many times people come into my chat. And chat, you tell me when I'm lying. I cannot tell you how.
Look, you see, again, not being truthful. He didn't have to make this video. He could. The problem was already resolved. It's not like the problem is still there. Him making this video, in fact, I'm willing to say, will only bring him more haters. Funny, right? Is that even though he handled the situation very well, he reached out very quickly, apologized, and they hashed it out. The fact he made a full length, like freaking 44 second YouTube video about it is only going to bring him more haters. And he says he literally had to make this video. He didn't. If he really cared about wanting peace and just being left alone to make his own content, he didn't need to make this video. And I'm sure he's smart enough to know that the best course of action to steer him away from future drama is not making these kind of videos. But the fact he actively tries to, you know, because he has a thing about making like daily uploads, right? He takes a lot of pride in making daily uploads, and I do that too. And there will come a time when there's nothing to talk about and you still have to make a video. This is one of those videos. He had to make a video like this because he needs to fill that 1 day video quota. Watch, when he has a lot of content, he never makes these videos. He never makes these videos when the patch is full of content and every day he has something to talk about, something to play, something to enjoy, something to have fun with. He'll never make a video like this. These videos only drop when he's out of content. So, again, not being truthful to himself, but that's whatever.
How many times people come into my chat, say, wow, Tecton, I thought you were a piece of shit after everything I've heard of you online, but you actually seem like a good dude. I cannot tell you how hard I've been by the internet. And people want to act like I did shit to deserve it. I mean, there's even who don't like other people because they're involved with me. Like, there are even people from the Genshin Impact community who had to stop talking to me because their viewership would go down if they know that they were associated with me. It is nuts. Now, that being said, I am appreciative of it a little bit, right? Because you got to turn every negative into a positive because it does motivate the fuck out of me. Nothing motivates me more than feeling like this section of the world is against me. And if I do stop, then they've won. And I can't let that happen. I can't. I can.
And also, we have to understand, I've said this in the past, this is also fuel for me as well. It's knowing that people disagree with me, knowing that I have haters means that I've reached a size that garners hate. For example, nobody is going to hate on somebody who is completely irrelevant because it's not worth their time. It's not worth their time and energy to hate on somebody who is not relevant. If you have people who hate you, like I'm talking about chronic haters, meaning people who watch all of your videos just to hate on you, you know you've made it. To a certain degree, you've made it, right? Because it's not worth their time if you're not of the size to even hate, to be worth their time to hate. So that's how I tell myself, like, okay, if you get hate, if you get constant chronic haters, it means you're doing something right. Not everything right, but you're doing something right, and at least you're on the right path.
Not let them win. I can't. It's just another example of bullshit being bullshit. Me and another guy settle things very quickly like adults, like I have always tried to do. You tell me an example where I have not tried to do that, and I will show you with proof that I have. I have always, every single time I have ever gotten to an argument or a disagreement or hurt another content creator's feelings that I felt did not deserve it, I have always apologized.
That he
every
felt
time.
did not
Dude,
deserve
you
it.
always get into shit with any community. Maybe you're the problem. No, and let me tell you why. Because it's not with any community. It is only the gacha community. That's it. It's the same community.
No. If he continues behaving the same way he did in the past few years into future communities he becomes a part of, it's just going to end the same. Because first and foremost, you're throwing shade towards people you don't actually know, right? It's different if you know them. Let's say if Sanzu and I, if Sanzu had a YouTube channel and Sanzu and I are throwing shade towards each other, right? I'm confident that Sanzu is not going to take a lot of it personally, especially if we already talked about it. Like, hey, you know, let's do a collab and stuff where we throw some shade at each other. Very easy to set stuff like that up. Whereas if you are reacting to someone for the first time, let's say if he moves into Wuthering Waves in the future and he starts reacting to people's videos and saying like, "Lil bro, don't know who I am." Like, come on, man, I'm the big T, like big Tectone. That's me, baby. Like, how do you know who I am? Educate yourself, kid, and then talk to me. If you say stuff like that in Wuthering Waves, and then you're like, "Oh, why do people hate me?" Right? But if it's your friend, it still might rub people the wrong way. You come off as an egotistical asshole, but at least the other guy is not going to feel like absolute garbage. And then by extension, their community is not. Sanzu says, Hoyo, let's quickly and make more content so Techno would stop talking conspiracy theory. Techno is pulling a big brain move. It's true though, like as long as there's content, people don't talk about conspiracy, people don't talk about all this stuff. Like we're too busy playing Fontaine, we're too busy talking about how bratty Folklore is, but we still love her, right? Testing her numbers, damage per screenshots. If we're too busy with our waifus and husbandos, we won't have time to talk about this other stuff. I really wish Hoyoverse would just not have dry patches and it's always content, and this type of content would be far less frequent.
What you want me to say, man? It's the most copium shit I've ever seen in my entire life. Part of the anime community. Where's the drama with that? Most likely, it's because I'm white and bald, but it's just something that I'm gonna be dealing with probably my entire life.
That's an attempt at a joke, right? That's an attempt at a joke.
Lifetime on
quite an overused joke by today's standards, but you know, I can get the humor every now and then.
YouTube. Am I gonna take a break for it? No. Is it gonna bother me? No. If anything, it just gives me free content, then I get to talk about it. But there's just this narrative that keeps happening. And shit, bro. I'll probably monetize the fuck out of this video and throw a sponsored ad on it. So that way I can really capitalize on all this. But we'll see. It's dumb shit. But it's just another day in the life of the most hated man in gacha for shit that I didn't do. Hope you enjoyed the video. Catch y'all later. Bye-bye.
I don't know if he really doesn't know why people hate on him, or he's just oblivious to it. But yeah, here is something that we need to take a look at before I get off today. Is there's somebody who sent me a tier list done by yes, this tier list. Okay, so this is a tier list done by Zajef, or how people pronounce his name. I always said it's Zajef, but last time I heard Ziox say his name, I almost had a fucking stroke. I swear to God, I was like, my reality started like fragmenting, because for the longest time I was like, his name is Zajef, and then like fucking Ziox came out of left field, gave me like the biggest tackle of my life, and it was just like Zojong, or no, he said like what did he say? What does Ziox call this guy? And I damn near lost it. But anyways, I'm gonna keep calling him Zajef because that's how I've always called him, and that's how I will continue calling him. But here's a tier list. Okay, let's shrink this a little bit so you guys could see. So apparently this list is based off of Fontaine changes. So these characters' positions are based off of the current how should I what's that word? Current leaks of what Fontaine has to offer. Damn it, I need to... Here, like this? Okay, so these are all the characters. So, somebody messaged this to me and it's like, Walrus, please give me your 2 cents about what you think with these changes. Like with these characters, their placements. These are not like, this is not a tier list. These are just people who, like characters who are going to benefit from the changes coming in Fontaine. All right. So taking a look at it, let's see who actually benefits from the release of Fontaine, at least in 4.0. Let's start from the very top. All right. Let's start from the best to worst. Fischl, Yaimiko, and Dia. So according to Zajef, Fischl, Yaimiko, and Dia have major improvement. I can't even begin to fathom what they want to do with Fischl, when it comes to like push her even higher in terms of usefulness. Many people would already rank her right now as a high A tier, if not an S tier character. In my honest opinion, I think she's a solid A tier character. Like, she's a very solid character. Good substitute for Yaimiko, and in some cases even better than Yaimiko. But to see both Fischl and Yaimiko in a similar position, but at the same time, like someone like Raiden Shogun is not involved in it. Somebody like where's Beidou? Shouldn't Beidou be up here too? Yeah, Beidou is here too. So Raiden Shogun, Beidou, why aren't these two Electro characters up here? Maybe there are some unique synergies. And of course it's Zajev, so you know that his list should be mostly accurate. So Zajev does explain his reasoning for all these placements in a video. Yeah, but you see, the fun for me in looking at this is not knowing why. To me, it's way more fun trying to figure out, like, why is it that Fischl and Yaimiko and Dia I've heard people say that there are going to be new HP mechanics. Remember I made the whole Dia video? There was a guy making a post in the Dia main subreddit saying like, Dia, there's going to be a new mechanic that works around like HP, and it's going to make Dia extremely useful in Fontaine. Now, don't forget that she is still a standard banner character, and even though she might become more useful, it wouldn't really mean that she becomes OP. So we shouldn't hold on to the belief that she's gonna suddenly go from being, you know, a bad character to an OP character. She might become a more utilized character, or just limited time useful character, being in Fontaine or a couple patches in Fontaine. But once we move on, maybe she's gonna drop back down again. We don't know. But I do think that major improvements should either be damage, utility, or just general usefulness. And I think Yaimiko and Fischl probably would have great utility or DPS synergies in Fontaine. But goddamn, I don't know what they have in store. And it's hard to imagine if they're going back to something like Electrocharged. I don't think they're going to be really pushing Electrocharge as much as they're going to be pushing for more maybe Hyper Bloom Aggravate stuff. Depends on who. It's crazy to me that Bennett is so high up on this list as well. VYA says Dia will be the new Cookie. She will have one team to play her in. I mean, one team is all you really need to become a solid character. So hopefully that Dia would rise up the ranks and redeem herself. But seeing like minor improvement, like Hu Tao, like a lot of these, like I'm surprised to see Albedo so high up, because I know Hu Tao and Ayaka and stuff like that, they have huge synergies with Hydro units. So seeing that they have minor improvements as we move into Fontaine is not, like, it's not too surprising. But seeing two Geo characters here, like Noel and Albedo, makes me lean towards like, is something happening with Crystallize? Is something happening with Geo? I would have expected Geo characters to be down here. And remember, this apparently they said this is for 4.0. So is it already in 4.0 that they're going to have some minor improvements to these Geo characters? And also, when it comes to Zajev's ranking here, is Bennett getting a slightly better improvement than Al-Haytham, right? Because he's the top of this list and he's the bottom of the list, or are all these characters equally getting buffed or whatever? But yeah, Nahida, a lot of really solid characters. Like, this category of characters right here is probably the most utilized out of all of these characters combined. We also have so right here is no improvements. Other I don't know. So these characters basically have no changes, so which is crazy to see that Fischl is getting some love and attention, but Kaching has not gotten any. Right? That's also wild to me. And Raiden Shogun is up here. Beidou is up here, but Kaching is down here. Maybe it's a new artifact set eventually that's gonna drop. I don't know. Geo buff would be very welcome, says Gizmo. I would love a Geo buff, but I don't think they're gonna do it in 4.0. There is another Geo character coming out in Fontaine. It's a lady with the umbrella and like the in the yellow dress. She's Geo. I really hope that they're gonna do something with Crystallize, but I at this point I really don't know what Holyverse has like planned for Geo. I really don't know. Your guess truly is as good as mine. So, and also down here, I don't know what this is. Other, what does that say? Other options get improved. I don't know what he means by that. Other options gets improved. I don't know. The HVK is asking what tier list this is. This is Zajev's tier list on who gets who, like how big of an improvement these characters are gonna have come 4.0. So yeah. I don't know what they have in store at all for the Electro characters up there with the major improvements. In terms of Dia, I think the HP mechanic might be interesting to explore. I don't have the character, so it's not like I'm going to benefit from this. But I'll definitely make a video covering it based off of Dia main's reaction. But yeah, that's the gist of it. I honestly can't react too much because I just don't know much about it. But what I do know of is where I'm going to be spending the rest of this. Oh, there's more? I thought we were going to be able to dump all of this into relics. Okay, let's do 6 more. And then we'll go spend the rest on relics. I've been basically grinding away at Honkai Star Rail, building up my characters, farming their traces, and whatnot. TL60 has been expensive, but I'm managing my resources very carefully to make sure I don't overinvest into certain characters. I want to work on their weapons, well, light cones as well. But overall, I think I'm gonna have a very solid account come 1 or 2 months. Very solid account. Balbaneth is, I mean, seeing Geo get love is promising. Yeah, Geo and Physical are the last two that Holyverse needs to patch out before really expanding the rosters of characters in both DPS and utility. Once they figure out Geo and Crystallize as well as Shatter and Physical, I think Genshin Impact as a game you can say that it's truly developed, right? Like truly matured as a game and options. Then we can entertain the idea of like unique synergies. In my opinion, Nilou is quite ahead of her time because that type of character should only come out once all the other like damage options and teams are fully expanded upon. Gizmo says Mika lost opportunity for Physical. Yeah, so this is the thing. I'm sure like you don't need me to tell you this. Even theory crafters have said like when it comes to Mika and his synergy with the current Physical carries, it's just not good enough. It's not good enough to even like make them slightly relevant in comparison to the meta. Now, is it a boost? Yeah, it's a boost. But it's by no means like a monumental boost or a big enough boost to justify even for people to go out of their way to pull for him, which is crazy because you're basically saying that, okay, so we got this new character whose entire job is to facilitate Physical carries, but it's like not even worthwhile to spend the resource to pull him because he's just not that good. Which isn't that crazy? Sanzu says, I'll probably have all characters built with partial traces done in 1 to 2 months. Waiting for the day I can mostly just farm relics. Well, the thing is, like for people who don't know, Sanzu is also like max refreshing. Sanzu, are you planning to max refresh until you have all the characters built and then you just spend time farming relics? Or are you planning to max refresh until you quit the game? Because look at what Sanzu's saying. Imagine max refreshing every day and it's still gonna take 1 to 2 months. But then again, Sanzu has like double the number of characters most people have. Bethesda says, Walrus, we get Seth for Shatter in 4.0. What does that mean? What is Seth? Oh no, wrong button. Clear Cavern of Corrosion. Don't mind if I do. I'm farming for Clara right now. I've been farming for like almost, I think 4 or 5 days, and I just haven't had very good luck. Let's look at Jing Yuan. I think, can we level up more? Yes. I'm gonna level up his elemental skill. Elemental skill. Boom, bam, pow. We need so many more of this. I'm gonna be doing this for a very, very long time. Do I need any more blue keys? So, level this up. Ooh, crit rate increased by 5.3%. Level that up. So 988 with 4 over here. But do we have any more? We do. So we can level this up. Probably level up his basic attack a little bit as well, just because it's so cheap. Yeah, can't do this, and this costs way too much, so this is just more worth it for the resources I have. But yeah, this is my Jing Yuan. If you guys want to use him, he's at my Jing Yuan is at E2S1. Oh yeah, Sanzu, I have never added you as a friend. Can you DM me your code later so I can add you off stream so you don't get you don't get bombarded by chat? The good thing about, look, chat, I don't have to pull for Blade. Only Sanzu has to pull for Blade. And then we will have Blade together. Not his Blade, it's our Blade. Oh, I did? The name is Ishara? Oh, right, because your name is not Sanzu in game. Yeah. Imagine having Sanzu as a friend. My god, is that 109,000 damage, chat? Did you guys just see that? This is not even Memory of Chaos, mind you. This is not even what's that place called? What the fuck is that place called? This is not even Simulated Universe. Isn't that crazy? This Lightning Lord is not gonna hurt very much. E6 Locha. Yeah, I think Sanzu has like most of his stuff maxed. Boom, boom, boom. Wow, look at the heals. Man. So Sanzu has E6, S5 Locha, S tier, E0 Locha, A tier, my opinion. Ah. Hoyoverse has made the constellations, Eidolons in this game so much, so much more fluid and just overall better than Genshin Impact, in my opinion. This is taking way longer than I thought it was going to. There we go. Man, that took forever. Better give me something good. Okay, give me a crit rate body. Hey, these boots aren't terrible. Give me a crit rate main stat body. Oh my god, I want to do one more so badly. I want to do one more so badly, but we're missing two. Oh, look. Next recovery is what? Is it every 8 minutes? Every 6 minutes. Oh, we can wait 6 minutes, chat, right? We can wait 6 minutes. We'll wait 6 minutes, do one more run. Sanzu says Walrus is 60. Why look at 4-star pieces? That's how strained for resources I am. I might have to just give her some 4-star pieces in the meantime. Like, look, these boots. Come on now, like, not rarity. How do I sort? I'm looking for the champion. Look at that. Oh, these boots. Imagine if they're 5 stars, I might actually level them up. This is the first 5-star body chest I've gotten. Gloves, I have a couple, but they're like, I mean, I might level this up. Headpiece is kind of doomed, to be honest. All right, chat. You know what? Let's get this to level 3. Since you guys are here, I feel lucky. Crit rate! Sanzi says, wait for links to pair with Blade according to a dream someone had. Oh, but links is 1.3. And I'm gonna skip Blade though. I'm thinking of pulling Blade on his rerun depending on how good he is. But like, I'm gonna first build up all these characters I have. I want to build up all these characters, ideally level 80 Lycone character traces leveled up to minimum 888. Like maybe some of my main, like I want to get Sealy maxed out, maybe Jingyuan maxed out. Everybody else can stay at 888, and I'll think about pulling more characters. Also, I've been thinking going back and forth between, oh, not this one. I've been thinking going back and forth between getting his weapon, but oh, wait. Chat, I have you guys here. Bethesda says, let's look at Lynx's kit while we wait. One moment. Let me get these summons over with, because there's a chance. How close are we? I think we're at 40 something. $45, $46, $47, $48, $49. Damn it. Sanzu says, I found a nice place to stand for gacha, but that may only work for my account. Sanzu. I need to know where you were standing when you summoned for your weapons in Genshin prior to the weapon banner change. That's what we really need to know. On that slanted platform near the Astro Express in the Herda space station. You mean where Asta is? The control, like the front of the ship, the control room? So apparently this is what Lynx does. Base attack deals quantum damage equal to percentage of Link's match HP to a single target. So even her normal attack scales off of match XP. Celtic this skill removes one negative effect from a designated ally and restores their health by an amount equal to percentage of Link's match HP plus a fixed amount. So this is very standard healing. This is HP scaling, cleansing, heal. Ultimate Snowfield Emergency Plan. This ultimate skill removes one negative effect from all allies. So it's like so her skill has a targeted cleanse. Her ultimate comes with a group cleanse. One negative effect from all allies and immediately restores the health by equal to the percentage of the plus a fixed amount. It also restores the same amount of health to all allies at the start of each turn for one turn. No, that's gotta get nerfed, no? This sounds crazy OP. Like, it also restores the same amount of health to all allies at the start of each turn for one turn. So they basically double healed. Once during the ultimate and once at the start of all their turn, and the heal amount is the same as the ultimate. So it's like, yeah, that sounds crazy. Talent Elder Survivor. Doing this talents allows Lynx to restore energy when removing a negative effect from ally. Wow. Technique, Charlotte. This technique immediately restores the health of all allies by an amount equal to the percent of Link's match. Okay. You know what we need to do now as a community is just not talk about her. No matter how broken she sounds, just don't say anything. Make her, in fact, if you're gonna say something, say she sounds weak. Because the second you guys say, oh my god, she's so broken, she's amazing, I'm definitely gonna pull for her, they get nerfed. Always gets nerfed. Sanzu says, for Genshin, I bring out Noelle and stand in Mondstadt on the second tier street, and then do whole turn and go into summoning as animation ends. I remember the only ritual I did for summon sessions is like I sacrificed, was it Bennett? I think I sacrificed Bennett once or twice. And I also sacrificed Chi-Chi a couple times. But they never worked. But I swear people have like these spots or routines that they do that like they claims almost guarantees them success, which is absolutely insane. I've tried, trust me, I've tried weird gimmicks and stuff in the past. I've never found success with them. Maybe that's just me. Man. Let's take her out and put her in and try like this. Sansa says, by the way, for Honkai Star Rail, you need to bring out physical MC and swing a few times. That's crazy. Pancake says, you just have to enter your mind palace and manifest the characters with your mind. I mean, you know, I have something that works even better, which is just entering into my bank account and manifesting them that way. Like, I don't know, like, I don't even have to manifest very hard. It works. Oh, this is way faster, no? Silver Wolf just adds quite a bit of damage. Alright, come on. Oh! Okay. Just making sure. It's okay, we still have one more, chat. We still have one more. Just pretend that didn't happen. We're gonna salvage it. Anyways, chat, thank you for tuning into the live stream. Was a blast, as always. Chilling with you guys here. This is asking, Walrus, do you think people get shafted if they pull Locha for the sake of getting second healer if Lynx is that good on release? Yeah. Like, if you're not planning to pull for Blade, I think you're just much safer going for someone like Lynx. Seeing her kit and pulling Lynx, you're gonna be on the, like, she might be on the Fushuan banner. If she's not on the Fushuan banner, she might be on like another, like, then she'll be on the other banner. And as a 4-star, like, you just, like, yes, you might get unlucky and end up with the 5-star and still not have her, which it's happened to me in the past. Like, I want a 4-star character, but I don't get the 4-star, but I even get a 5-star prior to getting the 4-star. Locha is a solid choice, but I think you'll, like, mathematically speaking, you should be saving yourself quite a bit of gems if you're okay on waiting until Lynx. You can save more gems, which also helps you in securing other characters you want. I wouldn't say you really need Locha unless you're playing like destruction characters. Like, Locha works really well with destruction characters. Blade is a given, as well as Clara works really well with him as well. So yeah, that's gonna be that. This week's goal is gonna be slowly farming up for Clara, pushing these maybe a little bit more. I might stop farming traces for them now. We'll have to see. I think it's maybe time to take some other characters up as well and start pushing MOC, or devoting more into Clara's traces. I mean, into her relics, and also, of course, her traces. So much work to do here. Oh my god, I absolutely need this trace. I need this trace so much. 30% counter damage is insane amount of damage if you guys think about it. But thank you guys so much. Always a blast. Thank you, Sanzu. Very generous of you, as always. The channel's sponsor. Like, every time I make a video, I should just say this channel is sponsored by Sanzu River. At this point, he's a brand on the channel. But thank you so much. I'll see you guys next Wednesday. All right, till then, make sure if you have news, you have things you want me to cover, if you have anything you want me to react to, just DM them to me in Discord. I'll be more than happy to take a look at them next stream. All right, so someone says, I ain't here all the time. That's fine. That's fine. Always a blast chatting with you guys. Not just about Genshin and Honkai, but as you guys saw today, we talked about a bunch of other irrelevant topics. But it's always fun. Pancake says, good stream. Thank you. I hope people find it good enough to subscribe and tune in next time. Till then, urge y'all to stay safe. Peace. Bye bye.